No one form of sign language is universal. Different sign languages are used in different countries and regions throughout the world. Also, deaf people in the deaf community differ from one country or region to another. We will travel around the world looking at the deaf in different countries. We will learn about the deaf people, culture, and their community who live in that country, and we will also learn about the sign language that is used. Our first stop is North America. An estimated 28.8 million people comprise the American deaf community. American Sign Language, or ASL, is the language used by the deaf in the United States and Canada. It is a complete, complex language that employs signs made with the hands and other movements, including facial expressions and postures of the body. It is the first language of many deaf North Americans and one of several communication options available to the deaf. The exact beginnings of ASL are not clear. Many people believe that ASL came mostly from French Sign Language. Others claim that the foundation for ASL existed long before FSL was introduced into America in 1817. It was in that year that a French teacher named Laurent Clerc, brought to the United States by Thomas Gallaudet, founded the first school for the deaf in Hartford, Connecticut. Laurent Clerc began teaching French Sign Language to Americans, though many of his students were already fluent in their own forms of local natural sign language. Today's American Sign Language contains both French Sign Language and Old American Sign Language. American Sign Language is said to be the fourth most commonly used language in the United States. Located in Washington, D.C. is Gallaudet University. Gallaudet University is the world's only university in which all programs and services are specifically designed to accommodate deaf and hard of hearing students. Gallaudet University was founded in 1864 by an act of Congress. Its charter was signed by President Abraham Lincoln. Deaf come from around the world to attend Gallaudet University. Our next voyage will take us across the Atlantic Ocean to Great Britain. Although both the United Kingdom and the United States share English as their predominant spoken language, British Sign Language is quite distinct from American Sign Language. As you can see, British Sign Language fingerspelling is very different than American Sign Language. It uses two hands, whereas American Sign Language only uses one. British Sign Language is the language used by approximately 70,000 deaf people in the United Kingdom. It is the preferred language of the British deaf community and is accepted by both linguistics in the United Kingdom government and as a language in its own right. British Sign Language has affected many deaf throughout the world. The sign language is used in Australia and New Zealand, Auslan and New Zealand Sign Language, evolved largely from the 19th century British Sign Language and retained the same manual alphabet, grammar, and similar lexicon. British Sign Language has many regional dialects. Signs used in Scotland, for example, may not be used and may not be understood immediately by those in southern England and vice versa. Some signs are even more local, occurring only in certain towns or cities and communities. The next country we will visit is Poland. Poland has a population of 38,126,000 people and approximately 100,000 deaf people. Only 50,000 people of those who are deaf use Polish Sign Language as their primary language. The Polish Association of the Deaf was established in 1946. Before the Polish Association of the Deaf, the Polish Union of Associations of the Deaf-Mute was set up in 1925 as a result of the deaf social movement that had existed in Polish territory since 1876. This association was active until the outbreak of World War II. It was a direct continuation of the tradition, the ideological and rehabilitation ideals of the deaf movement. Sign languages are used across the globe. The variety of sign language is equal to the variety of spoken languages. The next country we are going to visit is China. China has the largest deaf population in the world, but also one of the most invisible. There are at least 22 million deaf and hard of hearing people living in China, with another 30,000 born every year. Though the deaf population continues to increase, they remain on the fringes of society. There is little recognition or awareness of their culture or sign language, and as such, communication between hearing and deaf worlds in China has been limited. Chinese Sign Language only started to really be developed in the late 1950s, making it a relatively new language. Chinese Sign Language has many variations within mainland China. The dialect used in Shanghai is the most prominent, but other dialects include Hong Kong Sign Language, Taiwan Sign Language, and Tibetan Sign Language, and many others. Now we will head to the continent of Africa, to the country of Egypt. Not much is recorded about the deaf in Egypt. The population of the deaf is unknown. Many people in Egypt are Muslim. Since there is not much known about the deaf in Egypt, we will take a look at the deaf in the Muslim community. Some mosques provide interpreters. At least 3 mosques in Cairo, Egypt had interpreters as of the year 2000. In addition, efforts to make Islam accessible to the deaf are increasing around the world. In early 2004, the Risale Charity of Cairo, Egypt began offering training to deaf students after the organization discovered that deaf students could not say their prayers or read the Quran. Jordan, a country near Egypt, already provides interpreters at mosques. With a population of nearly 300 million deaf people throughout the world, there is much to still learn about deaf community, people, and culture. If you would like to learn more, just ask your teacher for more resources and information. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation, and again, just ask your teacher for more information.